What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. And there was a group marching down the street in Boston the other day. And they've been coming up in the news more and more. And I want to do my own research on what they are, because they've been coming up more and more. A lot of people, including myself, we were wondering, is this an op, like a Fed op? I'm going to do a bunch of shorter videos on them because I went to their website. I'll give you a spoiler alert. Based on what I saw on the website, I don't know if it's a Fed op. Now, I might be on the Fed list because I'm not always using my VPN. I've got a VPN and I just forget to put it on sometimes when I go to these websites. So I know for a fact I'm on some type of list somewhere. If my Fed guy, if the Fed spying on me or the CIA guy spying on me is watching, bruh, I'm just doing research. Trust me. I don't join any of these groups. When I say MAGA, it means populist. I'm not joining like a cult or anything like that. MAGA's not a cult, man. They come out against people, Trump or anybody. It doesn't matter. True populism. So I went to the website for this group, and there's one red flag. The first thing, when I look at anybody in the chat, when I look at anybody that I'm talking to, in the lane that I'm in, I want to hold the establishment accountable. It's like people first over corporation. And when you're in that lane, one of the dangers is people fall victim to the lowest common denominator. The most instinctual type of thing is to go to violence. If you are talking about some type of violence, I'm out. I don't want to associate with you. I'll chat with you, but I'm not going to partner with you on anything. If you have a pro-violence stance, even bigger than that, it's kind of like if you're not anti-racist, you're racist. But in my own eyes, if you can't denounce violence openly and publicly, I'm out, because I don't know, why couldn't you denounce violence? The path of violence, you don't need a group to go down that path. That's where it heads naturally. So you don't need to form a group. You're just trying to accelerate the path to that. I'm out. I want no part of you. So I go to their website. Here it is. We're looking at it now. Reclaim America, all this kind of stuff. And in their manifesto, they don't have an about page. Like, this isn't the type of group that would be like, about us. There's a manifesto. And I went in it, and I'm going to go slow. It's really well written. And part of it is why I don't think it's a Fed op. Some of the stuff that's written in there, and it could be, but I don't think that they would have put this much thought into it, and it doesn't sound like it. But forget about it. The one thing I want to talk about is peacefulness, the peaceful path. So you go to their manifesto. The first quote is a quote from the Revolutionary War from George Washington. Our cruel and unrelenting enemy leaves us no choice but a brave resistance or the most abject submission. This is all we can expect. We have therefore to resolve to conquer or die. That's a strong place to start. And if you listen to my videos, I always talk about maybe fighting back or whatever. And almost every single time I'm like, peacefully. I'll have to think of other way to say it because I can get annoying. But it's more important to say it than not to. I want to make sure it's not misconstrued. I'm talking about owning the political process and peacefully. I know there's other things that can happen I won't be a part of that. So when you start out with a quote like this, where George Washington said this, I forgot, I believe it was before like the Battle of Brooklyn or something like that, this quote, I need to see you clarify that you are a peaceful organization. Now, if you're not a peaceful organization, you probably don't want to put it on the website because that brings target and whatever. It could be illegal. But if you are peaceful, there's no problem with putting that on the website. If you want to leave it open to people to join your group who are not peaceful, you wouldn't put peaceful on there, would you? Read the whole manifesto multiple times now. There is nothing on there that talks about peace. Ironically, the word God is not in here. Let me just double check, do a quick search again. Word God is not, and the word Constitution is not in here. Not once. This is a weird group. Very surprising in the manifesto not to see the word God, but to see the word European multiple times. And I don't think it was in necessarily a bad way they used it. They were very specific on how they wanted to acknowledge our European founding. 7 times European, God, not once. But let's get back to the violence. So that's a quote that could be misconstrued. And then in the first part of it here, they talk about tyrants with delusions of infinite power have declared the American people too weak to revolt. So now you're using the word revolt. So when you revolt, there's only 2 ways to revolt: peacefully or not peacefully. And then later on, they talk about the political process. Politics have played a large part in destroying this nation, and it will not be politics that will save us. Let me repeat that one more time. Politics have played a large part in destroying this nation, which I agree. I would want to expand on that, but I agree in a large part. And it will not be politics that save us. I do not agree with that. The system is a political system, and we can own the political system. We just have to care to own it. So if you start with a revolutionary quote, you talk about tyrants, you talk about revolt, then you say politics have played a large part in destroying this nation, and it will not be politics that will save us. Now I have to wonder, and you don't denounce violence, now I have to wonder what you're about. So that right there, you might say, well, why don't you think they're a Fed op? Sounds like it to me. Yeah, based on that, a mission of peace, it does sound like it. But I'll do other videos. I don't want to go too long on this. I want to do short videos. I don't even know what YouTube allows on this thing. I'm just trying to talk about it. I'm not trying to condone them, tell anybody to join them. That's for damn sure. I'm just trying to figure out what they really are, because you can't trust anybody say white supremacy and all this garbage. So let me know what you think. I think that's the first thing. That's why I like the Libertarian Party. One of the founding principles of the Libertarian Party, at least the Rothbard part of it, and they are now ruled by Rothbardians with Dave Smith and Angela McArdle and Michael Heiss and all them, is the non-aggression principle.
The philosophy of libertarianism is the philosophy of peace. It's the philosophy of prosperity. And as I've come more and more to realize, it's the philosophy of civilization. I mean, what better describes civilized behavior than the non-aggression principle and respect for private property rights? It's what you would teach your 3-year-old as they go into the world. Don't hit other people and don't take their stuff.
It's just a fancy way of saying peace. We are not aggressors. They come forward with that. This group did not. Red flag, y'all. Red flag. Let me know what you think. Take care.